University of Missouri Extension economist Ron Plain is our hog market analyst today. As we mentioned last week, that industry is still dealing with the porcine epidemic diarrhea virus and even more cautious with colder temperatures moving in. Because there's no tracking of deaths due to the virus, we don't know the exact toll PEDV has had. The USDA does release inventory numbers on hogs and pigs quarterly, with the next report scheduled for December 23rd. How the death losses will impact feed consumption isn't certain either, but we do know that pigs used more than half of Nebraska's soybean meal in 2012 before the virus hit. As you'll hear in this week's analysis, a hog operation that managed to escape disease likely did well this year. We talked with Ron Tuesday afternoon and started by asking about the current profit levels for hog producers.
Well, it continues to be real good, Jeff. Iowa State University calculations say the typical hog shipped to market in October earned a profit of $53 per head. We've made money every month this year in the hog business. Looks like we may average in the 60s dollars per head profit, making this the best year ever for hog producers.
You know, what we're seeing right now for margins, just describe how normal that is in the current break-even price, how atypical that is.
Yeah, well, things have gone right. We're looking at break-evens on a live weight basis somewhere around 51 cents a pound live. On a carcass basis, 67, 68 cents a pound, somewhere in there currently. And, you know, it's well below hog prices. And it's due to the fact we've had this big corn crops, record soybean crop, reduced the cost of feed, and because of tight pork supplies, PED virus, and other reasons, we've got record hog prices this year, and so it makes for a very good bottom line for hog producers.
What threatens those margins then, Ron?
Well, you always got to worry about changing prices. If it turns dry next summer, we'll produce a much smaller corn crop. That could boost feed costs dramatically in the second half of next year. Certainly on the hog side of thing, if we expand hog numbers, which we will, hog producers making these kind of profits is going to lead to more sows and gilts getting bred. Also, exports are a big market. Over 20% of all the pork, somewhere around 25% of the value from hogs comes from exports. Anything that disrupts exports could really hurt the bottom line.
With temperatures falling, you mentioned PEDV. When could we start to see that shift if it has an impact again?
Yeah, a lot of us worry that PED is going to be a seasonal problem, much worse in the winter than in the summer. A lot of viruses are that way in the hog business. We'll know as we get on towards Christmas whether we're going to see an uptick. It looks like in the fall a bit of an uptick. Certainly death loss from PED was much lower this summer than it was last winter.
Let's talk about meat prices. All fresh retail beef set another new high in October. Ground beef was up for the 10th consecutive month. What about pork?
Well, pork was record high in September, backed off a little bit in October. Seasonally, that tends to happen about $4.15 a pound for all pork in grocery stores, which very good, third highest month ever. Seasonally, we tend to drop off a bit in the winter, but we had a lot of records back during the summer.
What do slaughter numbers look like, Ron?
Well, we're continuing to see slaughter. We've had 38 weeks in a row below year-ago levels. Right now, we expect that to last through the rest of the year and into the start of next year. Eventually, though, it looks like probably a few more sows and better performance relative to PED than a year ago. A lot lower death loss is going to mean higher hog slaughter in 2015 than this year.
Update me on the export scene.
Well, we started out the year real well. We're slowing down. Exports are now below year-ago levels, and certainly that's to be expected with less pork being produced here and record high prices on a wholesale level for much of the year. But still, year-to-date, at least through September, the most recent data, up 2% in exports, up 10% though in pork imports.
What's your price forecast as we move into December?
Well, carcass prices are in the mid to low 80s right now. Normally, somewhere around December 1's often the low price for the year. I expect higher prices by the end of this year, late December, in the upper 80s. And then for next year, a high probably somewhere June or thereabouts in the high 90s on a carcass basis. I kind of doubt we'll make it to $100 in 2015.